That's what we see looking down right now. Today's a little different because we're going to be removing bees 40 or 50 feet up in the air from a boom lift. Took the thermal reader. There's a little bit of a differential on the corner of that building. If any of you are like me, maybe you're not big fans of heights. Generally speaking, I try and make heights something that I don't do super often. And I'm just doing a little bit of exploratory work for a hive that we're gonna remove here in a little bit. I was just checking out the inside of an old building just to make sure that we didn't have any bees on the inside. We don't have any living bees on the inside, I will say that. There's some porousness in the brick because it's a building that was built in 1901. And so a few of the bees, I suspect, when they were born, instead of going toward the light on the outside of the building, found a way to travel in one of those holes along the rafters and drop into this space. You can see that there's some window light and bees are attracted to light. And unfortunately, once they find their way in, they're having a hard time orienting themselves to find their way back out. So basically this space has become a little bit of a bee graveyard. We're going to truly save the bees from that fate by removing the hive on the outside of the building, plugging up any of those gaps, and then we're also going to clean up this space in here. I thought it'd be good to give you context on exactly how many bees have met their fate so that you have real perspective on the bees that we're saving in the future. There's so many up here and my bucket vacuum is having a hard time. It is a bright and early morning on October 22nd, 2022, and today we're going to remove some bees. The wind is supposed to be coming in gusts at 15 to 25 miles an hour at different points through the day, and the lift is already rented and already on site. So we're in it. We're just gonna make some wise choices along the way. So just so you get a view and get to appreciate what I'm looking at from up here. Way in the distance over there, you can see my lovely wife suited up. That's what we see looking down right now. This is the cavity where the bees are, and you can see right here, this is where they're spending the majority of their time, and probably where most of the comb is. I'll pull back for context for you, because there's lots of comb and propolis right in that seam. Right through there. So the first big challenge here is figuring out how on earth to get this piece off. This here is all one single piece of fascia. I said I'm sure this will be great once I figure out how to get this cavity open. It's all one solid piece. I don't see any way I'm not gonna be able, or that I'm gonna be able to not do what I was originally planning to do anyway, which is get my multi-tool, but I think I'm gonna have to cut it all around this horn. Like it's gotta come all the way around to the fascia.
I can already see the comb in there. It's super dark, which means it is super old, so this hive has likely been here for a couple of years. But anyway, I'm gonna have to follow this seam up on the fascia just to try and pry this aluminum out. Yeah, I saw him walking over here to that. I was trying to tell him walk away. But I needed to find a plug. Thankfully, I saw one over there and I brought my extension cords because I'm always prepared. These girls, woo, they are hot now. So you can see this is the end of the building over here where the bees were coming in. I've just been making a clean cut and peeling it up to try and make it as easy for the repair people as possible when this is all said and done. But there you go. That's our exposed hive right here. It's a booming colony. We got lots of bees on this comb. And the thing that I want to show is look at how dark all of this comb is. So it's been here for a while. Surprised they're still on this super dark stuff over here on the side. I'll be able to capture the full removal, but I'll catch it in bits and pieces. First of all, it's super windy, but mostly because my camera doesn't have enough battery because I'm shooting this on my phone. So I'll just kind of catch it in bits and pieces and show you progress along the way. But here's a close view of the hive. We're about to start removing comb. You can see all the honeycomb, which I want to try and get most of that out before dark if I can. And then if I don't get these girls before dark, they'll cluster and I'll come back tomorrow. My queen should be hanging there, but you can see that's where they're hanging out. Mama's there. I saw her butt earlier. I just couldn't actually get back there with a clip to get her yet. But the thing that's taken so long in here, this here is a wooden joist. So it separated this comb from what's over here, and there's a pass-through over the top of some of it where they've also built. And then you can see here, this is wood coming up beside that joist, and then we've got wood running down at an angle right here. And so of course you see the comb coming across, and then you can see this side over here where we have another joist. Which the amazing thing is that they stopped. They didn't keep on traveling because there's plenty of soffit room that they could have traveled into. But the thing that I'm noticing is that the wood over there is in a lot better shape than the wood over here. Some of it was a little bit rotted out. So now I'm not sure how far that piece of wood that travels right here comes down. So that makes removing comb super slow. And the fact that there's absolutely zero fresh comb up here, this stuff is really, really hard to cut through. So I've got my serrated uncapping knife that I'm using for the job. But anyway, it's a little hard up here as a one-man show in a lift to try and do much in terms of camera work. Pretty much all the honeycomb out, which is basically all that was up here. There was virtually no brood comb, just a little teeny tiny bit. But I know that's probably due to the time of year. So what I'm doing right now is trying to corral all of the bees down in this corner where I know the queen is. Using smoke. And then I'm basically just taking a few, batting them down onto a foundation, and then patting it in front of my hive box that I have down here and letting them walk in. And I'm up here by the joists. Bees basically had comb from this joist all the way across past that one, and they were entering right here on the other side. That was their opening, basically right there coming in. They propolized it, so I had to clean all of that off. You can see in here this gnarly wood. This removal took about 15 hours up on a lift, and part of the reason is because you see all of these nooks and crannies up here. Or show you probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. I came down here, I took my suit off a little bit ago. I was about to just put it away, and when I got looking in here, saw this little cluster of bees, and right there in the middle, that big shiny thorax, that is our queen. That has got to be one of the craziest things I have ever seen in my life. Way up there, you see that opening. For 2 days, I've been up there. We cut that open, we got all that gnarly comb out, we flushed the bees out with smoke. I was getting ready to clean up, to put things away. And as I'm looking at my bee suit lying on the ground, maybe 10 feet from my bee vac, and I found my queen. And we got her right there in that clip. That is craziness. So there you see it. You can see all the bees hanging and hear them buzzing on that screen mesh right there. And I got my queen right there on top. So I'm gonna leave this like it is for a while. I'll maybe put a lid on here and just leave it open enough so that any of these bees that are in the area can come back to this bucket, and we'll for sure take these girls home to those other bees that we took home last night, and we